I gotta take my shoes off here. Here, you take the lead. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you. She's a good, she's a family.
Hello, folks. I don't know if I'm in the right spot, but hey, going on my phone right now because my my computer isn't working, and I'm trying right now. So bear with me. It still hasn't booted up, but I hope everybody's well. I don't know how to get chat on here. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. No. Sorry. I got a heart now. Oh, bear with me. Whatever. My computer's booted up. Maybe I can go right into YouTube and see if I'm in the right place. So I hope everybody's good. I had an unfortunate experience yesterday going to the hospital, but I'm good now. Thank you, everybody, for your thoughts, prayers, and energies my way. Much appreciated. And we'll start this off. And sorry if it's a little loud around here. I don't really have a space of my own unless I go out in the garage, and the garage is a mess. Working on it. And a new puppy just came, so you might hear a lot of noise. Wow, this computer's being really slow. I mean, really bad. Oh, wow, it's really bad. But yeah, I apologize. And I can't even see you guys' chat, see if you're talking or anything, so. This is just ridiculous. Straight up ridiculous. I don't know what happened to it. What a joke. Oh, cute. That's a cute puppy. I'm on live right now. There's the cute puppy. She is cute. Well, how's Stella taking it?
They're playing together.
Awesome. Yep, okay, I guess I am on live. Wow. Okay. So yeah, guys, I'm glad that you could join me. And who's all here? Show me Sasquatch, Michelle. What's up, guys? How are you? There's only 5 watching. I don't blame you for only 5 being here. Probably in the wrong spot, right? Because I don't think I'm in the right. We going strong. Nice. Yeah. And I may look bugged out because I'm on steroids. So I just seen my eyes in this live stream and they don't look good. But because I don't think I'm in the right. So who's out here? Sun, Sasquatch, Deborah Tucker. How are you doing? It's Etheric Essentials. Deborah Tucker. She's awesome. But yeah, folks, I don't know. What should we talk about? Jack's not going to be here for another 10, 20 minutes. So I'm going to see if I can get from this on my Zoom here. So bear with me again. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we can. Okay, we're gonna join. This ought to be a trip. Can you guys see the screen? Oh, look at that. I gotta admit myself. See that? Whoa. All right, now I'm gonna sign out on this one. Okay, there we go. Now we should be working right. There. Hey, everybody. That was awesome. I was able to switch over, so I guess I'm not that tech illiterate. So yeah, how is everybody? How is everybody in the place to be? Now I'm booting up my phone to my live stream so I can see you guys in chat. And here we go in chat. What's up? There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. What's up, Robert V? How you doing? Working. What's up, Delaney? Hi. Menza, what's up, brother? Doug Stack. Dark Truth. Menza. Saturnarian Sun. Delaney Pearl Jones. What's up, girl? Doug Stack, I've already mentioned you. Allie Berry, hi. Hi, sweetheart, how are you? Show me Sasquatch, yes. I'm glad you guys could join me. MCS, Shelly. Penny Pocket, hi, how are you doing? Everybody likes Penny. Penny in your pocket eventually turns into gold. Hey, what's up, Need to Know? How are you, buddy? Figured you needed a good boot. Right. Yeah, I did. And, yesterday I put off my breathing issues a little too long. I ended up having to go to the emergency room, but whatever. but Jack's going to be joining me in about 15 minutes. And while I'm waiting for Jack, I wanted to read something to you guys. And it's from a post in Ascension in a Facebook group, which I'll try to wow. I just seen I had like 35 messages on my Facebook. Just goes to show you how much I'm on it. But I wanted to read something to you from Phil Langdon that he posted in the Ascension group, and it goes a little something like this. Now there's a graphic. Oh wait, I can go. Maybe I can. No, I don't know if I can. Let me see. Gotta exit full screen. Go to different window. Fake book. Okay. Okay, I'm in my Facebook. Now I should be able to get to the thing I'm talking about. Groups. Ascension. Okay, here you go. Oh, wait. Yeah, right here. Okay, now I got to go to Zoom meeting. Here. Okay, now you guys should be able to see my screen here. This graphic shows the tree of life breakdown with modern designations, including esoteric color coding. For anyone who is in this new to this group, you will find pretty classical angel knowledge here, in case you wondered. This metaphysical breakdown of the tree comes from highlighting each aspect of the relationship between zero dimension, dual energy, and their union fundamentally. The three aspects of 0D form the basis of the tree, completed by the Son of God. The Son of God is the light, which we recreate. Now, that light, this metaphysical breakdown of the tree comes from highlighting each aspect of the relationship between zero dimension, dual energy, and their union. Fundamentally, the three aspects of 0D form the basis of the tree completed by the Son of God. The pattern can then be applied to the distinction between spirit as a unity and energy as a duality that directly opposes spirit in its nature. The Son of God is the union, fusion of spirit and energy. Now, what he's saying there is that, you know, the two aspects of the dualistic part of our nature is thoroughly against anything we can't prove through our senses. That's through our ego, through our touch, smell, hear, taste, proof, you know, physical, tangible proof that scientists like to call proof. But, you know, it's like oxygen, you know, it exists, but it's not, you know, you can't see it, taste it, smell it, but you sure damn need it, right? So ascension in its classical understanding is in fact the generation of the world of creation. Ascension in its classical understanding is in fact the generation of the world of creation. The second level of the tree when applied to the worlds. So the personal savior, the Son of God light, is also the creator of the cosmic pattern, governed by the relationship between spirit, zero dimension, and energy. Spirit, zero dimension, is the center of the black hole, or the center of us, the center of all things. And the colors associated with the realm of the creator are black, white, and red, you know, shown right there on the second part, or third part, right? Or, yeah, second part.
blackness of the void, the abyss, the true whiteness of the lamb, and the symbolic redness of its lifeblood pouring out of the 32 wounds in the body at the top of this page, the pineal light. Let me see if I can move this up. No. Can I move it up on here? No. I got to click it, but I want to keep this up. But it's the pineal light. It looks like the bark of Ra or the boat. That's the lamb. And the symbolic redness of its lifeblood pouring out of the 32 wounds of the body. And those are the rays that are, coming out of its body. At the top of this page, these are the colors associated with importance and royalty. Most servants of royalty wear black, white, and red at work. The human is a tripart being in that we have intellect associated with the sun in the sky. So is yellow, gold, a heart. Emotions and spirit associated with real and spiritual blood, so is red, and a body associated with water, so is blue, right? That's the third level, formation, the sphere, acceleration, cosmos, yellow, blue, and red, right? The 1D or the second layer of the tree of life is, what the royalty is, which is the abyss, velocity, the circle, the infinite, black, white, and red. And the first is emanation, pleroma, the monad, the emanation. Okay. Now, when we go on from that, after we go past the heart, emotions, and spirit associated with real and spiritual blood so it's red, and a body associated with water, so is blue. These are the colors associated with energy. That's the energy that we are. And energy never fades, never, it just changes in time, right? Or changes, transmutes. The black hole is associated with the creator because this is the biggest part of this thing that it blew me away. A black hole is associated with the creator because it's a return to the abyss from the energy cycle in the energy cosmic tensor field. The T equals 0 state is always simply the T equals 0 state. There is only one. This level of energy control associates with the colors found when the previous energy colors are mixed together in alchemical fusion. Mixing blue and yellow gives green, the color of balance and life. Red and yellow together make orange, a color associated with spiritual union and royalty, due to red and yellow being the location in the body of the keys to heaven. The heart and mind united is orange. Purple is red and blue mixed. The color of royalty, since red and blue also associate with fire and water, the very condition of the world of creation, where the light is fire in the endless ocean of the abyss, the very issue of royalty itself. Did you follow that? I mean, it's incredible. I got goosebumps right now, goosebumps, because purple has always been my favorite color. Green is the color of money, and orange is the color of fire, or the sun, right? It's just incredible when you look at this. And he's always put these graphs in his books. And if anybody's wondering, if anybody's interested, he's got a book. It's called the Ascension Handbook. And he's got another one, the Blueprint of the Gods. But, that's incredible when you look at that and you see all of that before you, it's insane how awesome it is. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, and hopefully Jack will be here soon. It's 3:21, but he's got I'll link his you can go to his YouTube channel and find his books as well. So I'm gonna go here on my phone to back to the YouTube channel so I can see you guys' comments and see what you guys think of that. And if you have any questions, I'll go back to it and check it out. And and I don't want anybody to think that I worship Phil Langdon or Yvonne Gordon. I just want people to know that when you have somebody that can help you find the truth through the shit show that we are a part of, in the face of adversity that at every turn we face, and things are hidden by us, and I say us for a reason, because we are we, there's only one, right, in the end. But that's, a short order version of it. But yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions? I'm reading your Dude, I'm following, but falling behind. He be waking up now, Jenny. Oh, you guys are talking about Mickey. What's up, Mickey or Jenny? I got your number. I got your number, Jenny. Who else? Allie Berry. Dude, I'm following, but falling behind. Yes, and that's I'll bring this graphic back up now that I'm back on your here. I think I can do this. So I gotta hit share again. And then I gotta go to this. And then share this. Okay, so now that what you're having. How are you? I'm feeling way better. Way better. Thank you. 867-530-998. What's up, Free Press 666? Knowledge is power, Steve. So many are not knowledgeable. I am still learning. No, I'm not. I'm doing much better code. Yes, I've bought Phil's book. I'm gonna buy his second book because it's, for me, I'm not just saying this, but the dude does so much for free that he deserves it. And if to have information, and if you're not selling it, nobody's buying it, unfortunately, in today's day and age, right? If I ain't selling it, it's like my YouTube channel. If I'm not propagating fear or unboxing something, people aren't, your channel does not grow. The sun has turned whiter in the last 20 years. I would agree with that, Doug. But yeah, I'm going to go back to this graph now. And I think I can go to read this on the side. Yeah, okay. Now it says ascension in its classical understanding is in fact the generation of the world of creation. Here, we're going to start all over. We're going to go right back to, I got to move my face out of the way here. This graphic shows the tree of life breakdown with modern designations, including esoteric color coding. For anyone who is new to this group, you will find pretty classical angel knowledge here in case you wondered. An angel means somebody who's seen the light. Anunnaki, that's what an Anunnaki is. An Anu is Sky Father. Na is on, and Ki is Earth. That's what Anunnaki breaks down to. And if you go through all of your wording of all of your stories, all of your knowledge, all of the stuff that you know and you took in as belief, you will find that 9 times out of 10, it's not what you thought it was in the beginning, but it's there for you. No, I know. We never stop learning. Aren't we in a new sun cycle? We are. We just came out of, well, a lot of people don't know the real Yuga cycle, but I'll get into that. I wanted to finish this just so you guys can really grasp. If I can convey how much I grasp just a little bit, it's incredible. And the odd thing is, the reason why this grabbed me so much is the black hole is the Anu to me. That's what Anu means. And the black hole is how everything is brought inward through a new cycle. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we are, is the singularities of that system. The center of all things is each one of us unto our own universe. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. And but this metaphysical breakdown of the tree, this is, the tree of life is these points, the point, the line, the dimension, which is the formation, the 2D, you know what I mean? Because the 0 dimension is the point, the monad, the position, the pleroma, heaven, white, the white noise, the whiteness of nothingness. That's why in Ptah-hotep, it states that, a piece of paper, what do you have? You have everything from nothing, because that piece of paper is something, but nothing all at the same time, because it's blank. You can put anything and everything on that piece of paper, turn it in nothing into everything, and the potential is there in everything. Emanation is 0 dimension, where it says 0D. Now the circle with the point in the middle, that's, and everybody knows that symbol because it's a symbol of eternity. And that's what we are trying to do. And that's how you find the center of the circle, is by squaring it. So you have, and that's, I'm getting too far into it there. So from highlighting each aspect of the relationship between zero dimension dual energy and their union, fundamentally the three aspects of 0D form the basis of the tree, completed by the Son of God. Oh, Jack's in the house. What up, Jack? Hang on, I gotta turn my volume up here. Can you hear me? You gotta unmute yourself, bud.
Hello.
There, I can hear you. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I've just been having a laugh with my brother. He's been sending me all these like Prince Harry, Meghan Markle memes that are pretty funny.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, that's
I don't care about that though, but we seem like
yeah, you do. I care about it because that sounds like it's something that means something to you. So yeah, it's awesome, brother.
It doesn't mean anything to me. All it does is reaffirm the fact that there's the term royal family is an oxymoron.
Oh, you're talking about your conversation you guys were talking about. Oh,
okay. No,
yeah. I was talking about the feeling you were having for having that talk with him. Okay, yeah. Now I understand what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. I was reading Phil's post in Facebook. You don't have fake books, so this might interest you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get some tea and I'll sit back down.
Okay. But yeah, I was at the breakdown of the tree comes from highlighting each aspect of the relationship between zero dimension, which is the nothingness, dual energy, and their union. Fundamentally, the three aspects of the 0D form the basis of the tree, the triune, completed by the Son, the fourth, which is the Son of God. The pattern can then be applied to the distinction between spirit as a unity of energy, as a duality that directly opposes spirit in its nature. The Son of God is the union, fusion of spirit and energy. See, a lot of people think that spirit is energy, when spirit really isn't energy. Spirit is something that is attainable, knowable to each individual, but not provable in the physical sense. Like we all know that we have a connection to each other, right? But we don't know, you know what I mean?
It's interesting that point, because when you run out of energy per se, you essentially fall asleep and then you dream, right, and you're still experiencing yourself as spirit, but just outside of the energy domain, in the like 0D domain. So yeah,
that's awesome. That's an awesome point right there. I never even thought of it like that, but yeah. And it's another aspect of our being, so to speak. And do you see the graphic on your computer screen there, Jack?
Yeah. I'm sharing your screen.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to make sure. But this is that awesome video you made about the triune of God. Is you explained it just perfectly on the relationship between the unknowable to the group, the unseeable to the eye, the unhearable to the group, to the everything we know, which is our physical nature.
Yeah,
so, I love that video you had.
Yeah, no, that I put a lot of time and effort into that, and that was really a product of studying Phil's material in depth as much as I could. But what was I going to say, man? I was watching some physics channel last night, and like there's a new I think some physicists are starting to posit whether the universe is infinite, and they don't know. But the thing is like, as all the galaxies move away from each other, they can calculate a point in time where all the light would have moved so far away from all the other galaxies, you won't be able to see it. So I'm not sure about that, and they think that's what might return to the singularity state, because you just have all these photons that have no mass buzzing around. So it causes like a universal reboot, so to speak. But no, the point was, I was thinking, and I was like, well, if you have the kind of the infinite through singularity, like a negative infinite, then would that not be coupled with like and you have the inward infinite, wouldn't that be coupled with an outward infinite as well? You'd have to have like the two in polarity, you know.
Well, think of it as the event horizon and the singularity. That's why the
Yes,
annual and
yes, yeah.
everything.
But my point is, okay, so if we've got the event horizon in the singularity inwardly, do we have infinite space outwardly? You know,
That's the event horizon.
what, infinite space outwardly?
Yeah, outwardly, I think so.
I
think
thought the event horizon was the cusp.
well,
of
yeah, I
black
guess that's
hole.
the barrier between. Yeah, that's the barrier between that and that, right? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm just really like,
Yeah, and I can, you know what? I got that answer for you in Phil's book if I can pull it up.
yeah, go ahead.
But I should we finish reading this again? I mean, you think
No,
it's worth it?
keep on with, because I joined late, so keep doing what you were doing.
Okay,
But I'll just listen.
The Son of God is the union, fusion of spirit and energy. Ascension in its classical understanding is in fact the generation of the world of creation, the second level on the tree when applied to the worlds. So the personal savior, the Son of God light, is also the creator of the cosmic pattern, which is Lucifer, you know, and Lucifer is the light bearer, you know, the light bringer, or governed by the relationship between spirit, zero dimension, and energy. And I think anything past the monad is pretty much, you know, regeneration cycle, the three, right? But the colors associated with the realm of the creator are black, white, and red. The blackness of the void abyss, the true whiteness of the lamb, and the symbolic redness of its lifeblood pouring out of the 32 wounds in its body at the top of this page. And that's the pineal light that he, you know, so eloquently draws out, you know, that cloud Gordian knot looking thing with the rays coming out of it. And that's the pineal light. These are the colors associated with importance and royalty. Most servants of royalty wear black, white, and red at work. Now that creator is not God, guys. Let's get this straight. The creator is something created when we are in union, which we are the dualism, in union with the singular, union of our true self, the pleroma, which is
This
heaven.
is the biggest point of confusion, because
Yes,
when
this is
people
what
hear
I'm
the
trying to get
term-
out here. Right.
when people hear the term the creator, they automatically think like the high God, basically. But it's the universal, the physical universe creator, which is a product of God, which is like spirit, basically.
Our true self, our truest condition. And that's, and somebody just posted in the chat, only crazy humans would evolve in an environment that make themselves the creators of it in their minds. Okay, Thoth, and he's my moderator.
What's he saying?
I love it. That's beautiful. But you know, that to each their own. And it's not created in our mind though. That's the thing. Because it's created, it's the creative principle, period. And it's unprovable to anybody unless they attain it, right, Jack? I mean,
well, yeah, see, on that point, I watched an interesting, very short video yesterday. It was Jordan Peterson talking about shamanism, and I know like some people like him and some people don't, but that's not the point. So he was saying how like if a shaman can have visions and stuff, and then relate it to like culture and mythology, then they're like a genuine shaman. But if they have all these visions and stuff and they can't decipher it in a way anyone can actually understand, then they're just insane, basically.
Right. Well, that's like the visions I told everybody, the dreams I used to have before I turned 7. You know, before I had my id, before I had my ID, my identity, and related to myself to the world, there were these dreams and things that I could not articulate. And to this point, I really can't. I still can't explain them. You know, but it was one of those feelings where everything was grand, everything was great, everything was comfortable, everything was there. You know, if you follow me. But you know, to get back to the human is a tripart being in that we have an intellect associated with the sun in the skies, so is yellow, gold, a heart, emotions, and spirit associated with real and spiritual blood, so it is red, and a body associated with water, so it is blue. These are the colors associated with energy, and that's us, the 2D, right?
So that's blue, red, and yellow.
Yes, yes.
Right.
And that makes sense, you know, and these are also, all of these three things are the three aspects of each, you know. If you see everything below the white or the pleroma, the oneness is a breakdown of what we all are.
Yeah,
you know?
well, on Phil's graphic that he's got here on the 2D formation kind of part of the tree of life, that would be Tifereth, Hesed, and Gebura, which are respectively yellow, blue, and red. Yeah, he shows that. He actually shows the colors there. Yeah, no, I see. I see what's going on.
And this right here, this black hole part is what really grabbed me, because long before I met Phil, long before I really got into the true aspect of what all of this was, when I was turning my thoughts inwardly from the outward signs that I was filming in the sky, because I was a Nibiru sky watcher, you know, and that's what I did. And I honestly believe that all of that stuff, the Mandela effect, all of it are signs on the outside to bring you back to your inside journey, to bring you back forward to, you know, about face, to really finding the truth in you. And the odd thing is that I came across Black Hole Sun, that song, and it started with me questioning and arguing with somebody about who really sang that song. And I got into, I Google searched it, and all of a sudden Danny Wilton's stuff popped up in front of me. And all of a sudden it was showing us that, he was showing me that the Orion Nebula, you know, was an exact duplicate of our brain if you overlaid it. And then this is the weird thing, because I went off on a tangent from his work and started looking into the trapezium open star cluster. And the trapezium open star cluster, if you break that word down, it's trapezium. And then in 2012, in October of 2012, they put it out, they published an article in space.com that there was an intermediate black hole that emanated from there. And then I all of a sudden I got hooked onto the Barnard's loop. And this, see, now this is my journey. This is how I got to, and this is how my path is personal to me. And everything turned out, I said, what if we are in a black, what if we are the black hole? What if, and then I was talking to a girl named 10,000 Lakes, BC, Cindy, a good friend of mine that I love so much. She said, our hearts, what if our hearts are the Anu? You know, because I automatically thought the black hole was the Anu for some reason. And I was like, wow. And then boom, 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 one thing led to another. And it came to this black hole information. And oddly enough, recently, the black hole information is the biggest thing out there that I am coming across. And that's because it's my journey, right?
Yeah, well, let me put this in a different context, but stay on the same point. Okay, so a black hole is, another word for it is a singularity. And a singularity is where the laws of physics break down. Okay. Yes. So space-time breaks down at a singularity or a black hole, right? But if you then think about your mind and your thoughts really are outside of space-time in a way. They're not. And your emotions as well, and your heart. You were saying maybe your heart's the singularity, because, you know, we have like neural pathways in our heart and etc. So my point is this. My point is that if the mind is beyond time and space, or the realm of thought, the inner world, then you could argue in a roundabout way that it's a singularity anyway.
Yes,
because there's a breakdown of the laws of physics when dealing with the mind, because the mind exists outside time and space.
Yeah,
and
your thoughts are
essentially. You can prove that very simply, because time in the dream state is like, has different rates of flow and stuff. Or even if, you know, is there time in a dream state? It's a question that I guess no one knows the answer to.
Everybody here has slept off a flight, you know, and like you wake up a second later and you 9 hours have passed, right?
Yeah,
traveling time.
Oh, dude, I went to bed at like midnight and woke up at 11:30. So I had a good lying.
Right. It is. It's like that though, right?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, sometimes you go to sleep and you wake up and your alarm's going off already, and you're like, Jesus, I've got to get up already. It can go like that. Yeah. Another thing as well is like the psychedelic experience, the flow of time becomes completely warped to the point where there's sometimes a feeling of timelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And really the come down is the fall back into time, you know.
Back into us. Yes.
So yeah.
All into you, right? And right here it says a black hole associated with the creator because of its return to the abyss from the energy cycle in the energy cosmic tensor field. The T equals zero state is always simply T equals zero state. There is only one. So that is, you know, the oneness of everything, the pleroma. That is the nothingness that the potential of everything comes from. Like the white piece of paper, right?
Yeah, there's I can see like in the chat they're talking about what Mr. Mensa says Adam and Eve's story talks of like many resets and stuff. And
yeah, they're talking about the CIA paper that they released.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, about like multiple.
That's part of the outer world, and that's what we're trying to get to that. Go ahead.
Well, this
what you're saying.
You can simplify this just pretty much as the Hermetic law of rhythm. That immediately explains all of that. You know.
Yes.
Like cycles and.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yugas. Yes. And the further we get away from source, the center of the black hole, the further we fall into, the further we go from the center, the closer we get to our physical nature. The further we get from our physical nature, the closer we get to the center. And that's the Yuga cycle essentially, right, Jack?
Yes. Well, that's see,
simplifying.
there's an overarching grand cycle though of everything, which is spoken about here in the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter. Shall I read it out? Because it really does. So it's called the Royal Path, and Sri Krishna says, because of your faith, I shall tell you the most profound of secrets. Obtaining both jhana and vijnana, you will be free from all evil. This royal knowledge, this royal secret, is the greatest purifier. Righteous and imperishable, it is a joy to practice and can be directly experienced. But those who have no faith in the supreme law of life do not find me, Arjuna. They return to the world, passing from death to death. I pervade the entire universe in my unmanifested form. All creatures find their existence in me, but I am not limited by them. Behold my divine mystery. These creatures do not really dwell in me. And though I bring them forth and support them, I am not confined within them. They move in me as the winds move in every direction of space. Here's the important point. At the end of the aeon, these creatures return to unmanifested matter. At the beginning of the next cycle, I send them forth again, controlling my Prakriti. The womb of Prakriti is the abyss, right? Again and again, I bring forth these myriad forms and subject them to the laws of Prakriti. None of these actions bind me, Arjuna. I am unattached to them, so they do not disturb my nature. And it goes on, but that's really the main point.
Prakriti is also energy.
Well, yeah. I mean,
right? What's the dualist?
It's Shakti is energy. Shakti would be like energy in, I think, kind of like a Hertzian sense.
Gotcha.
Whereas Prakriti would be like subtle energy in a scalar sense.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you see on this graph how he's got it broken down, how there's always 5, right? There's always the emanation, monad, position, pleroma, you know, and it's white. And, you know, on all these graphs that he ever shows, there's always 5 descriptions of the same thing. You ever notice that?
5 descriptions of this. Are you talking about
you know, like how emanation or 0D is emanation, monad, position, pleroma, and it's white. You know, there's 5 aspects of it, and that's like the philosopher's hand, right? The 4 fingers are useless until the 5th is involved, and then you got things that can move the world.
Yeah, it's interesting, like
Process.
incorporating the number 5 into it.
He does that with everyone.
But you know, I'd say like the way I'd interpret that, you have the triune or the Trinity, and then the quaternity encoded in the Trinity. So the quaternity really is the pineal light. So then, like the 5th aspect of that would be the individual unit of consciousness that is multiplied, which is basically the individual's experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I'd.
Yeah.
That's how I. Are you frozen, or is my stream frozen?
No, we're good. I can hear you. We're good.
Okay, cool.
We're good. But yeah, and then it goes on about the mixing of the blue and yellow gives green, you know, after we go through the T equals 0 state, because T equals 0 is always T equals 0, and there's only one. This level of energy control associates with the colors found when the previous energy colors are mixed together in alchemical fusion. Now that's what I'm trying to figure out, where that switch right there. You know, a black hole is associated with the creator because it's a return to the abyss from the energy cycle in the energy cosmic tensor field. The T equals 0 state is always simply T equals 0. There is only one. This level of energy control associates with colors found when the previous energy colors are mixed together in alchemical fusion. Mixing blue and yellow gives green, the color of balance and life. Red and yellow together make orange, a color associated with spiritual union and royalty, due to red and yellow being the heart and mind. United is orange. Purple is red and blue mixed, the color of royalty, since red and blue also associate with fire and water, the very condition of the world of creation where the light is fire in the endless ocean of the abyss, the very issue of royalty itself. And I think I skipped something there. I think and it's purple, you know, the purple is, and that's always been my favorite color, but it's just,
Yeah.
it's
You
mind
know,
blowing to me
I
that
read something that like purple's the color of royalty because it used to be very difficult and expensive to dye things purple, and only the like royalty could afford to like have shit dyed purple, have clothes dyed purple. I read that and I was like,
I read that somewhere myself
I
because
was
of
like, that's not really what it means. That's
I
such a
read that
low
myself.
resolution explanation of
Right.
royalty. But yeah, it's like I just on the topic of royalty, because, and I hate to bring this up again, I really do, but I keep seeing all these videos about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I'm like, what the hell is all this bullshit? Like, where's all this come from? And like, everyone wants to talk about it and got an
It's the
opinion on it.
biggest
And
thing
I'm like,
lately,
dude, I really don't care about like Meghan debacle and blah blah blah. But it just made me realize that, like, because they're like, oh, the royal correspondent and the royal family have declined comment. I'm like, they're not a royal family. You can't have a royal family. There is no such possible thing as a royal family.
well, you
You
know,
know?
the royalty is actually stemmed back from people that actually attained this knowledge. And
Yes, yeah, no, I know that.
that's
I
the original
understand that,
seed of
but
royalty.
it's become majorly distorted from that that original meaning.
That's one of the true facts in Sitchin's books, is actually royalty was descended from heaven. You know, that's one of the true facts of all of his Chronicles, Earth Chronicle books, is when he read that, and he read that correctly, because that's essentially what royalty is. And the
Yeah.
Anunnaki were royalty because they were Anu, Skyfather on Earth, or an angel that has seen the light and recreated the world as we know it, you know, or
Yeah.
reinvigorated it. But the whole back to the T equals 0 state, I'm going to find in my drive here, if you guys can bear with me for a second. Go ahead, Jack, if you have any thoughts on that, you know, about the, I see the royalty thing as, you know, the whole outside thing, blow up the outside world, not meaning literally blow it up, but, you know, what is ever outside of you is always going to be outside of you, you know, and what you where your energy goes, or
Where attention goes, energy flows.
there you go. Yeah, that was from you. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. So yeah.
oh, here we go. I think Lizzie's in the chat has shown me Sasquatch.
No, Sasquatch is he's
That's someone else.
he's a
No,
friend.
Lizzie's been spamming me with like emojis of late. But anyway, I don't
No,
really
he's just
about it.
he's another Thothanon, man.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
He's an awesome dude.
She's been spamming me with those emojis, and I'm like, oh. It's I don't know. It's like I said, you know, I think, you know, if you're out there, totally out there, and you can't bring it back to like mythological truth and explain the fabric of culture and antiquity and how the symbolism correlates, then like you're just insane, basically. You know. Anyway, yeah, let's change the subject. I don't want to talk about that.
Well, I wasn't wanting to talk about it, but yeah, you hang on. I'm looking at my desktop here. I'm looking for my drive, and I cannot find it. I think
I saw a funny Bill Gates meme because someone's just started talking about Bill Gates. It said something about how he couldn't stop viruses in his own operating system, but seems to think he can eradicate viruses amongst humans. I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah, that whole COVID thing is just a mess.
Oh, I'm bored of it. I'm glad I'm in America and not Britain, dude. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty bad over there.
Well, not the COVID, just
the measures in which they're thinking they're controlling it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like you can't. It's like a spanner in the wheel of fortune, basically. If you think of that card in the tarot, it's like the wheel of like society has come to a grinding halt, and you know, you've got the water turning the wheel from like a river in the card itself, and if it's locked and you still got all that force hitting it constantly, eventually the wheel's going to break, you know. So I'm just trying to relate the lockdowns to the tarot card symbology. It's just, yeah, it's not good. But like I said, being in America is very different, you know, because in California there's no fucking restrictions or nothing.
In Canada?
No, California.
Oh, in California, there's no more restrictions there?
Well, there are, but no one ignores.
Nobody abides by it?
No. Why the fuck should they?
Right. Okay.
No, it's true though. Like, you can't go out your house or earn a living. You have to be in by 10 o'clock. I don't know. I do think there'll be more challenges ahead that will be presented to us, but yeah, I really don't care. I just really don't care.
I finally found the book, and I'm almost there. So yeah, the zeitgeist is something I think that is there to pull us away from what we're truly here to do, dude. I really do. I think it's all there. The shit show, everything is here for distraction purposes, and it's by design, and that's part of the whole how our enmity is built within us. You know, the ego is always fighting the true self, right?
Yes.
And there's always a dualistic situation going on, and that's what creation's about. Without the friction,
that's true.
Emotion. Wouldn't you agree with that? I mean.
No, you're true. Like the zeitgeist is just a big. It's like, look, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You just don't. Right. It's uncertain, and you know, I hear one of the buzz phrases economists say is like, oh, the market craves certainty. It's like, well, it can't have it, you know, like there's you know, spirit is the only thing that's certain.
Right. Can you
Everything
see my
else is
screen?
uncertain. Spirit is the only thing that is true in that sense. See, that's why I think like we need to start at all not an all lives matter campaign, but a no lives matter campaign.
You're right. And here we go. Energy. Okay, here. Spirit is
Left that
singular.
one alone.
Huh?
You swerved that point.
But right here, spirit is this is essentially what you were saying, I think. Spirit is singular, at rest, formless, boundless, infinite, perfectly still, timeless, and eternal. With spirit, all is well. Energy, on the other hand, is crudely tumultuous at worst, or refined in form and shape at best, but never eternal. It is timed, cyclic, transient, never at rest, always in motion. It's the decay, always changing. Spirit is the exact opposite of stillness, pleroma, the spirit. And energy is what we all experience as real life. Our bodies are made from it. We are surrounded by it all the way out into the vastness of the cosmos. Spirit is inward and far more elusive in contrast, even though it is supposed to be what we really are. We can only come to know and define ourselves indirectly as spirit by experiencing life, to find the signs that it does exist after all. And that's what we were just saying. There is something greater than physical life. If we are looking for it and it does somehow exist, we will find it. It subtly may elude us for a long time, though, since the physical experience is of a far more obvious and immediate nature than the subtle refinement of the invisible spirit. Because, you know, the zeitgeist is always pulling at us. We have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to pay for our rent, we have to deal with the world, we have to interact with the world, and that's the dualistic nature that we are. So
Yeah, that's that's true. But let's see that what that paragraph says that you just read. It kind of like relates to that point I was making about how you could play it, you know, fooling around with semantics, argue that spirit is a singularity in itself, which would make which would also mean that, like, yes, we are a singularity, which kind of plays into your black hole ideas, you know.
yes, yes. And that's and what happens when you get back to that singularity, you pull everything inwards.
Yep.
Essentially, your mass is the gravity. You know, that brings you in, that brings it in. And that's another weird thing that I've been playing with in
You could
my head.
also say that your suffering and toil and torment is your gravity that brings you in as well.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
I find that like emotional pain is the thing. Emotional pain is the thing that guided me towards spirituality, definitely. You know, not all this law of attraction, I'm manifesting my dream life nonsense. I mean, like, look, you can have a great life. I'm not knocking that and saying you shouldn't do that, but I just see it's more hassle than it's worth.
That's exactly how I see life. And it's like I was born that way and I've always lived that way. And I was never taught to yearn after the dollar. I was taught to, in a weird, roundabout, kind of weird, maybe mean way, to just value your human relationships.
Well,
Because
you know, it's you know, you can say like, oh, well, I want to leave like wealth behind for my family.
right,
It's like, okay, that could be considered like noble service towards people you love, but if they don't know how to operate it, it will be gone anyway in like
yeah,
3 generations.
it caused them more issues than if they were broke.
Not necessarily. You could argue that, but my point is that it will still like not last even in a generational sense either. You know, it just can't. So that's my point, really.
Somebody in chat says there was no Big Bang. Now, what's your theory on the Big Bang there, Jackie?
The Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Well, I think the evidence of like an expanding universe because of like redshift, like let's assume that that's correct, that theory. Then if you were to like reverse that theoretically, then it would suggest that everything emanated from a big bang. And if the universe was static, then you could say, oh, there's no big bang. But I honestly think that the Big Bang is probably pretty solid. But then again, like if you've got the expansion, that has to be coupled with the contraction. You know, you can't have one without the other. So if you've got the two, yeah, that's basically my point. If you've got the expansion, you have to have some kind of like balancing force as contraction as well. You know, I think whether or not like the Big Bang, it doesn't seem so like important to me. The most important point in terms of like the physical universe is that like anything that is in motion has a fulcrum of stillness. To me, that seems more important. So like around all the movement of reality, there is a stationary fulcrum in the middle where everything is moving about, you know. That seems like more of a useful thought to me.
Right. And you know, there's so many things to say about that it's like it would take forever. I think the Big Bang, you know, if we are the means, the pinnacle of all accumulated creation, not saying that we're above everything or any of that. I'm just saying that we are the accumulation of the mineral kingdom, the animal kingdom. We are the gender principle at its pinnacle because we can become self-aware of the awareness that we create, being aware of it, you know, in the creation. And that in and of itself is a miracle. And that's why when we come to learn to love the whole system as one and marry the two keys to heaven, which is our heart and our mind, you know, and all things point to that those are the two keys. And if we marry that, the two become one. And in that happening, you see the light, which you recreate that light. That's the redeeming aspect, the first and the last, the Lucifer aspect. Or you can think of the Lucifer as the first and the redeeming as the last. You know, and that's what the crook and the flail on the Egyptian sarcophagi is. But that in and of itself is the collective Big Bang, but from a singular part. We are we are finite beings in this infinite sea, that in that infinity we create through a finite means, a moment in that infinity, which is absurd in and of itself. That perturbation in that medium is what causes the light of the world, which is the pineal light, which is the creation. So the true state of zero, t equals zero, is the monad, the one, the pleroma, the heaven, the stillness of nothing, where you're just at ease with everything. And you can see it in Yvonne Gordon's eyes. You can see it in Phil's eyes that they've achieved that. You can feel it ooze out of them when you're talking to them. You know, and that's what an angel on earth is. And that's what we are all. That's why we're so fascinated by the hero's journey. And that light creation is the Big Bang to me, because that is the timelessness that we create in a moment of time. In that timelessness.
Well, don't you? But it isn't the theory that you will. Ascension is leaving the time domain to the timelessness domain and being at the point where the two are where you're at the point where time and timelessness is reconciled. So that would theoretically be the Big Bang, because it's do you know what I mean? You're at a point of time and timelessness simultaneously.
Right.
Which is, you know, and going back to what I was saying about semantics, you know, they say a singularity is where the laws of space-time break down. So like the Big Bang is a singularity itself anyway. And I know I'm fooling around with semantics, but it's still like a correct approach, what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. And Thoth chimes in with the best thing you could do is learn how to think objectively about things and see if you can see things from multiple perspectives. And that you couldn't zero before the one and additionals add zeros. Right, need to know. But Thoth, you couldn't be more precise in that. The perspective of one is the just part of the whole of the perspective of the one, you know, and I wanted to get to something in this quote in this book that might shed a little light on what we're trying to get at here. Okay, so if there is only God, there is only one to divide in order to create the means by which gnosis is gained, yet one remains timeless and unchanged, retaining its oneness forever. If we express this in the simplest terms, we can say one is divisible by n, where n is any number. This simple expression tells us immediately that as the value given to the n approaches the zero, the value of one n approaches infinity. And this is just like the singularity and the event horizon state, and vice versa. And that this math problem right here explains it. Zero and infinity have an inverse proportional relationship around unity. The closer you get to one, the more you approach the other. Yet one alone is all there is. In this sense, it can be stated that zero and infinity are the same in nature. This calls to mind the idea of reaching the top of the highest mountain there is. As you reach the singular tip that shrinks to zero size, the infinite expanse opens up to you all around you, meaning that as you climb the mountain of truth, that mountain always gets higher. As you attain the truth, or as you go to attain that in which you're in search of, that thing in which you're in search of is further away to attain. That's, you know, that's how the inverse and the outer verse coexist, and that's Bethlehem in essence. They are thus both aspects of spirit in direct relationship. Here, let me make this bigger. You know, and this is another one of those things where, look at this. There's 5 things here. Zero dimension is spiritual, wisdom, abyss, singularity, and the pineal light in the middle. That's just incredible. And, you know, energy is the cosmic state from the zero dimension into the everything.
Right.
And it's
well, really, there's 4, but really, there's 4 things, because
yeah,
singularity and zero is like
correct.
You could say there's 3, and I kind of like stay on the idea of the Trinity and the quaternity hidden in the Trinity. That's kind of where I kind of stop it there, like the kind of the 3 and the 4, and the 4 and the 3. But I guess you do need, you know, you could say that it's like I said earlier, you could say the 5th aspect of that is the individual or the candidate themselves, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
You still need the individual to close that loop between time and timelessness.
Right. And people are thought as being the anti in the chat as always, which is awesome, you know, and he's challenging people's thoughts on the here and now, and, you know, he's always throwing in things, and people are misunderstanding him, I think. So give Thoth a chance. He shows you in the end that he means well, and, you know, that's why he's my moderator. And people may think that's crazy, but I love craziness. Well, then
No, you don't. No
right.
one loves craziness.
Well,
no one loves
craziness.
craziness.
It brings you to the saneness, if you really think.
There's a stark contrast between people claiming people are crazy and actually someone being crazy. There's
Right.
a big difference, and it's not really fair.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's what
some
they're,
people are, most people are sane, some people are fucking completely insane, and they don't have to be insane, but it depends. I don't know. I
right. And thought
I
says,
mean,
kids
delusion is something else as well, man, because you have plenty of people who are perfectly sane, but they're completely and utterly deluded. Like,
it's true that.
or you have people that are sane, but they're easily like manipulated and influenced. You know, and you know, here's the thing. Like, I feel like I sometimes go and get coffee with my buddy, and we like park behind this like CVS and like drink coffee, and like you see all these cars coming into the back where like people are getting their COVID tests and stuff.
Mhm.
And I just like sit there with my buddy and we're looking, he's very much a free thinker. And it's like I'm living in a completely different reality to these people because like I've broken free from the uh the gaslighting of the psychopathic control system. So it just looks it all looks delusional to me. But some people, that's their reality. They don't have an ulterior reference point from which to compare it against, like I do, you know. So I mean, yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
That's funny you say that, but I've recently been looking at people, and if I like today, I was watching the 1,000 Pound Sisters, and I just started crying, and it wasn't for any reason other than just me feeling that lady, and empathizing with it, and seeing that, and you know what? To be honest with you, coming to terms with everything I've judged in my life, and how I pass judgment on others for whatever reason is really what gets me. And I'm
Well,
about
I mean, like, there's confusion on this as well. Like, you know, you shouldn't judge people because you might be judged. It's not about that. You do have to judge other people when they give you information or knowledge, because you have to judge whether it's accurate or erroneous, or you have to judge whether someone's lifestyle is leading them towards like is progression in their own path, or it's like going backwards, right? So like judgment is very important. You know, you know, it's like the second to last card in the tarot, in the major arcana, but it's not judgment in the sense of like judging people. It's divine judgment. So you've been judged as like a ripe fruit ready to be plucked by God, you know.
Mhm.
It's not, it's misconstrued completely with like, oh, you shouldn't. It's like they say in Monty Python, it's like you shouldn't judge people because someone might judge you, and it's like, well, yeah, so what?
People in glass houses shouldn't throw rocks.
Yeah, or people in bubbles shouldn't throw pins and darts, you know.
Right, right. But okay, this right here is leading into what we were just talking about. They are thus both aspects of spirit in direct relationship involved with manifestation. The zero or singularity is us, the kingdom of God within, and the infinite expanse is the abyss, the gate of salvation. Our opposite while we experience manifest reality. So the abyss is what we create through creation of the prior. And God is unmanifest and above creation. As such, God is blameless. And this is why everybody says, if there's a God, how can he let this happen or this
Well,
happen?
this is what it
God is
said.
blameless, not part of creation unless he's recreating it with us. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly what it said. Like,
Life is what we do to ourselves. I just wanted to finish that.
yeah, this is what it said. You know, none of these actions binds me, Arjuna. I am unattached to them, so they do not disturb my nature. So, like, yeah, God, you know, yeah, blaming gods is like it's just really kind of Gnostic, isn't it? And it comes from misunderstanding.
Well, they always blame the creator. I think the Gnostics understood there was a God and a creator, though, too.
Oh yeah, they did. No, they absolutely did, because that's you have
That's why they view the
Samuel and you
creator
have
as mean and horrible.
Yeah, no, and that's where you have like Abraxas as well. No,
Yeah.
the Gnostics absolutely differentiated between God and the creator product.
I just had this epiphany, dude. I think this is the true missing link. That right there, that understanding, dude. Really?
Yeah, you couldn't understand the first chapter of the Hermetic Corpus
Right.
unless you understood that. You know,
Yeah,
on this note as well, I went out with a couple of buddies on Thursday night, and I was talking to this dude at the bar, and we got into a kind of like deep conversation, and he was like telling me that he was a Satanist, and I was like, you know, like Jesus and Satan are like the same thing, but from like different perspectives. And the guy got well pissed off. He's like, no, that's not fucking true, dude. You're full of shit. I was like, no, I'm not full of shit.
Why? Because you were insulting his Satan with Jesus?
Yeah, I convoluted Jesus and Satan. He didn't seem too happy about that.
He was offended because you called his Satan Jesus. That's funny.
No, I said Jesus and Satan.
I know, but in his eyes, that's probably how he's seen it, right?
Yeah, I said that's like the greatest secret of mysticism and Christianity. And you know,
well, the biggest, funniest thing I ever heard about that is when Phil said to me, Jesus is like a bag of peas. Are you going to worship a bag of peas? It's a thing. It isn't someone or you know, something to be venerated. It is what it is. It's a thing. You know.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the folly of the whole Anton LaVey kind of as well. It's you know, it's like the whole
this is where you piss a lot of people off because they're in the mindset that Jesus is the savior, which he is. You know, it is. The thing is your savior, because that is when you go, aha, and all of a sudden, woo, you know, you found the light. You've seen the light. Aha, let there be light. You know, all of these expressions. And you know, it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, no, it's interesting, but yeah.
But the God blameless sense life is what we do to it, do to ourselves. That is the true free will of our experiences, whether or not we're going to think it's this, or we're going to think it's that, or we're going to think this is fake and that's real, or, you know, that's the true free will of our world. Mm-hmm. And that's all thought, right? This understanding allows us to answer the question, where is the center of an infinite expanse? Where is the point of succinctness of truth? This question only makes sense when we take the observer into account. Without an observer, it really doesn't matter anyway. With no one to ask the question, there is no need to ask the question. This puts us at the center of our own perception of an infinite expanse as the definer of its truth, ourselves. The Katha Upanishad tells us, concealed in the heart of all beings is the Atman, the spirit, the self, smaller than the smallest atom, greater than the vast spaces. The man who surrenders his human leaves sorrows behind and beholds the glory of the Atman by the grace of the Creator. We fell from divinity to gain gnosis. The fallen angels are us, and ascend again. That cycle involves what is commonly known as death or expansion into the abyss. But death can be experienced without dying, as the saying goes, if you die before you die, when you die, you don't die. This statement is about dying before you physically die and lose your body for good. When this happens as a result of meeting and merging with God in spiritual union, we ascend, expanding into the abyss of the underworld, otherwise known as the mental plane. However, it is only the individual who experiences the abyss as an expanse in terms of a physical cosmos. The abyss is zero-dimensional and practically non-existent, a tiny dot, a point from which the cosmos expands, as we find in modern cosmology. The Bindu, or as a Hindu or Buddhist would say, a singularity corresponding with us. In the Christian tradition, we hear about the shamrock and its three-leaf structure pertaining to the unity of the Trinity. 3 leaves, but 1 leaf. As they say in Kabbalah, the great mystical tradition, the three great infinites of God are Ein Sof are. A standard interpretation follows from a website called Webo Kabbalah. The three veils of negative existence.
Scroll down, Steve.
Huh?
Just scroll down.
Yeah. The three veils of negative existence represent the outer limit of existence, the initial impulse of creation. Ein is the highest and first of the veils. It is literally translated as nothing or simply no. Ein Sof is the middle of the three veils, and it proceeds from Ein by necessity. It is literally translated as no limit. If there is nothing, then there are no boundaries or limitations. This is the limitless foundation, the eternal in its purest sense. Ein Sof R is the lower veil, situated closest to the tree of life, and it proceeds from Ein Sof as a necessity. It means limitless or eternal light. Without any limitations, all things happen by virtue of fact that there is no reason why they shouldn't. And that's our creation, right? I mean, that's and
it's pronounced. It's pronounced in Hebrew. I think it's pronounced ayin.
Ayin?
Ayin, like
Okay.
Ayin. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, what do you guys think of all that? I mean, what do you think of that, Jack? About the not the Ein Sof and stuff. The statement of dying before you. No, not that one.
What statement? Sorry.
The understanding allows us to question where is the center of infinite expanse? Where is the point of succinctness of truth? This question only makes sense when we take the observer into account. Without an observer, it really doesn't matter anyway. You know, with no one to ask the question, there is no need to ask the question. This puts us at the center of our own perception of infinite expanse as the definer of its truths ourselves. So that means that, you know, the multiverse is real because we are all the center of each of our universes.
Yeah, I was wondering though if the multiverse is real in a sequential manner.
No, I mean it as in a conceptual way or a.
Oh yes, absolutely.
You have your universe, I have my universe, and that's how everybody is butting heads right now because everybody's way is the right way. You know, everybody just thinks that everything I say is right and you're wrong. You know.
Well, this plays into polarity. This plays into polarity because, you know, you've got Democrats and fucking GOP like arguing over things and stuff. And it's kind of like hyperpolarization at the moment, no thanks to the media, but it's about some kind of like reconciliation between the two sides. Although using politics as an example, I now think there's absolutely no reconciliation like with the extremes, like the extreme ends. You can't reconcile with them, and yeah, I mean, I don't even want to go on about that. It's too like it's not really worth going into.
Right.
Yeah, like the extremes. Well, like think about this in terms of polarity. So the extreme ends are like impossible to be reconciled with politically. So on like the far right, it's all about like true like white supremacy. You're not going to be able to reconcile with that. And then on the far left, it's about inverting everything to normalize pedophilia. You're not going to reconcile with that. So the further you move away from the extremes, the greater the potential for reconciliation of either pole becomes until, you know, in the middle. You know, it's like, and as well, it's like, you know, the right used to like go off fighting wars, robbing resources of people when you had like the crazies, Rumsfeld, Rice, Cheney and Bush, etc. And now it's totally inverted the other way. Like, I don't know, but that's my example of I'm just like,
no, that's a good correlation.
How in order to like, you know, because like if you become depolarized, you can fight or argue for either side. You know, you can. It's like what's his dude in Game of Thrones, Littlefinger. he plays both sides and has like great success in his own agenda by playing both sides, you know. But I don't know. I think that there's I'm right or you're wrong, and then there's simply like what is the right thing to do. I still do believe that like there's a continual refinement of the individual's moral compass,
True.
and it's not just like doing the right thing. It can just be a decision as well. It's like, oh, should I go out and get like blind drunk tonight, or should I stay at home and like read a book and like try and learn something, you know? I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on and waffling on, man.
No, that's
I do see this whole hyperpolarization. It has been engineered. It's deliberately done to play people off against each other because
well, don't you see that as that manipulation as our collective ego run amok, like Trump? Trump was our collective ego run amok in America, in my opinion.
I really think
dumped everything into this thing that is the world when we shouldn't have been doing that. We should have been taking care of it and dumping it all into ourselves, in understanding that each of one of us has a perspective.
Look, Donald Trump
is the next.
Donald Trump merely wanted to bring back American manufacturing. That would mean that all the people that import stuff from China,
the guy was the biggest egomaniac.
See, in America, people are addicted to buying cheap shit from China.
Consumerism, yeah.
Right? So Donald Trump wanting to bring jobs back to the USA, all the fucking people who are importing goods from China and selling them at a markup here in America suddenly go, oh, I'm going to lose margins if he tries and does this. Let's have a smear campaign against him for 6 years. You know, it's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. It's all about fucking business interests and money. And that's the thing with psychopathology. It's just business at the end of the day. It's nothing personal. If you're attacked by a psychopath, it's not personal against you. They don't have a vendetta against you. They just saw you as an object that they could use to manipulate whatever for whatever they want. It's not personal. That's what people don't understand, you know.
Well, and that's what our ego does to us inside of us. We have enmity within because that ego is always trying to drive our thoughts towards what it wants, what it is pulling us further away from its death, because its death is what gets us to where we want to be in the spiritual sense.
But like, you talk about a collective ego.
Yeah.
I mean, like, is there even a collective ego?
Yeah, I believe that's such a thing. World. There is a manifested, like you would call it, a manufactured agenda, and it's by our own accord because we've all contributed to it. I take responsibility for what I've given to that system, and I can't change it, but I can change what I'm doing in my thought patterns and not feed into the nonsense and propagate the fear.
Like, here's all the point. This whole discussion we're having, it's all born out of polarization.
Yes.
It's all a consequence of manipulating the masses via the law of polarity. So if you understand that, you're kind of immediately immunized from it. But like I said, you can't reconcile at the extreme ends. Extreme people have extreme beliefs and they do extreme shit, and you can't basically genuflect to these people.
Oh, I understand what you're saying about the collective now. Okay, now I get what your point is there. And Menza's tried to tell me that very same thing, and I'm not trying to come off like that. And it's hard for me to articulate what I'm trying to get at, though. And I don't know how to articulate what I mean by collective ego either.
Yeah, but
I think it's just a manifest vibration that we bring ourselves to when we commit the acts of consumerism without the thought of repercussion on what it does to our system as a whole. Is what I'm trying to.
But this is the thing when it comes to consumerism. Okay, look. You got to think about it in two ways. I'm going to put forward two arguments here, and they're going to kind of to keep everything what I'm saying balanced. Okay, so the less you have,
would piss you off, Paula.
the less you have physically, the more you have to toil. If I don't have a car, I've got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, get a fucking bus to work, whatever. It's a pain in the ass to get groceries. If I don't have a computer, I can't access information at my fingertips at home if I haven't got the internet. Like, if I don't have fucking shelter, I need to fucking protect my. If I don't have running water, I need to walk to a water source every morning to get a drink and wash. So basically, look, the less you have materially, the more toil you have to do materially. Okay.
Yes.
So that's the pro-consumerist argument right there.
Right.
And it's a valid one. It's a totally valid one.
Totally.
Now, on the other side, the con argument against consumerism is that, you know, there is a minimal, there's a kind of like minimalistic amount of stuff you need, you know, and so, but the point is by buying more and more stuff that you don't need, it basically, you're trying to fill an insatiable void with something material that can only be filled something spiritual.
Perfect.
Yeah. And like, again, I get frustrated with people saying that we're all insane. We're not all insane at all. That's like just not true. It's just not true. If you'd ever dealt with someone who's completely insane, like I'm dealing with at the moment, then. And see, look, this is a fucking gaslighting arm of the psychopathic control system. They go, well, this is just the way it is. We have to have all these wars. We have to have all these genocides. We have to have billions of starving people. We all need vaccines for these novel viruses. It's just the way it is. No, it's not the way it is. It's what happens in Kali Yuga when you have psychopaths controlling government and big institutions. It's not just the way it is at all. It's not a mad world. 95% of all human beings have a conscience, and they're continually refining their moral compass. So this idea that, oh yeah, that's just the way it is, you know, I lose faith in humanity, it's a crock of shit. It's a lie from the fucking pits of hell. You know, most people aren't like that. And it annoys me. It frustrates me because I've stepped out of that reality, you know. Right. And I've got an external reference point to see that it's just all lies from, you know, it's evil, you know.
Right.
But, you know, no, not all people are insane. That's completely not true. And
usually the ones that you think are the most insane are usually the ones that are closest to the truth.
But then again, you know, that's the fine line between insanity and genius. And this is like, can you relate? Can you take this reference point that is well beyond the norm, which is totally outside the standard deviation of most people, and can you refine that reference point in a way where it can explain roots of culture, antiquity, and mythology? That's so important, man. That's so important, because if you can, you're not insane. You're a genius, you know? So, you know.
Right. And people are in, I wanted to address something that Paula said, that Jesus isn't a bag of peas, and, you know, I'm going to.
Well, it's in it. See, just to explain that to Paula, it's like, I think the example is that, like, Jesus is a thing allegorically.
Yes.
And not, it's the logos, which is Jesus is the logos, which is a thing. So you can just compare it to any other physical thing. Yes. You know, it depends if you believe that Jesus lived and he taught great wisdom 2,000 years ago, or you don't. But like I said, it's not. It's the message that's important that he taught. That's what's really important.
And this is the carnal mind versus the spiritual mind at enmity within us all, you know, and that's what everything is veiled with, right?
Yeah. Here's an I find an interesting question by Sharon Hartley. Should we be coming out of poverty consciousness? If you want, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. Sorry to digress.
No, that's true. And you know, just to make that point clear, as a consumerist, somebody who's just after the carrot nonstop, and your whole life is wrapped up in having the next dollar and attaining the most power from that dollar. That's the collective ego I was talking about, that Trump's about, you know, and that's what he's all about. I mean, outwardly, and I do believe
I disagree completely.
No,
I don't think
how could
Trump
you
was
disagree?
about
That's all the guy's about.
I don't think he was
That's
about
all he's
that.
about, dude. Every tweet that guy ever made was about that. But I don't even care about that because I'm not a politician, or into politics or any of that nonsense, because none of it benefits us in the long run, because it's not about what we're really here to do. And that's my point, is how we get wrapped
anyway, wouldn't he?
We get wrapped up in that, right? I mean, it's easy to get wrapped up in that.
Just on the Donald Trump point.
It's almost pulled us back into it right now.
Yeah. Here's an interesting point to relate it to mysticism.
That's what I've been talking about.
But Trump's like a Presbyterian, right?
Yeah.
And like out of all the different sects of Christianity, like it's the Presbyterians that want to be Jews more than like any other sects of Christianity, but they don't fully understand like what that means.
What Jews are.
To be a Jew is one who has seen God, or a child of Israel is one who has seen God, basically. So someone who's enlightened, someone who's experienced divine union. So I'd rather talk about that aspect than
that's exactly what I was trying to get at, is that right there, that enmity is on the outside and the inside within us. And that's what I meant by that. And how it's always pulling us outward. How everything is always getting our attention on the outside. And, you know, that's why I always say, can I come in from the out now? You know?
Well, yeah, that's another reason for the hyper, like all this stimulation on the outside. How many fucking TV channels are there? You know, all this, there's like this constant fucking external stimulation from the modern world, and most of it is totally like unnecessary.
Oh, look at that! Did you see what that happened there? Hello. Let me keep it. Hello. Can you see that?
What? There's a delay.
It didn't show the. I got to keep talking so it.
I don't know what your point is here, Steve.
No, because it's not showing the picture in the picture thing, dude. And I've been trying to do that again.
Oh, the hysteresis loop.
Yeah.
You want the hysteresis loop.
Yeah, it's hysteresis loop, and that's a version of our reality. Because it's the observer observing that which, or this is how I like to describe it. It's the created or the created viewing a creation it's created within the creation that it created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? The loop.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's called the hysteresis loop. I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, hysteresis. You can have like mechanical hysteresis, you can have electrical hysteresis, and that's hysteresis with light. So yeah.
Wait, what does that mean?
Are you gonna look it
It's
up?
not letting me do it now. That's just weird, dude. God, that's weird. It's never done that to me before. I could do it, but it just goes to my desktop. They must have fixed that in the whole Zoom program, because I used to be able to do it and would do it to no end, you know?
Oh, what, when you open OBS?
I don't know. It's weird. But people have seen me do it. But yeah, our reality depends on our experience. Oh, yeah. And, you know, that was, I'm not even going to try to find it again. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of what I was going to talk about, what Phil was talking about in his book. Was that's exactly what our reality can only be communicable or articulated to ourselves through our own experience. We cannot tell, or we can inspire others through our experiences, but we can't. We can lead the horse to water, but we can't make it drink. That's the easiest way to say it.
Hey, have you ever read any of the poetry of William Blake?
I came across it the other day. Why?
Yeah, I was reading like some of William Blake's poems last night. They're excellent. They're brilliant. He was definitely illuminated, like definitely. You could do a whole show going through going through some of his poems and analyzing it and relating it to mysticism. Like absolutely, like it's really good. I just thought I'd throw that in there to change the subject a bit. But yeah.
Well, no, I mean I'm always willing to come across. I didn't know. I just came across that name in a couple poems. Do you have any poems of his?
Well, he wrote a book called The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, which is kind of a telling title if you understand what you're reading, right? If you've been well educated, so to speak. But yeah, his most he's got, I mean, yeah, his most famous one, oh man, I'm trying to find
Need to know says Solomon would agree. He was rich, smartest, wisest of the best of men, and he says it was all for naught, but work our lot in life.
Yeah. Here's a good one. Proverbs of Hell. Prisons are built with stones of law, brothels with bricks of religion. The pride of the peacock is the glory of God. The lust of the goat is the bounty of God. The wrath of the lion is the wisdom of God. The nakedness of woman is the work of God.
Wow. That's
yeah, I know. Yeah. So you're not gonna, and I'm reading this like fucking, oh Jesus. I'm reading this kind of exegesis on it, and what it says is like just completely like doesn't understand. It's like the oppressive nature of the church and state has created repulsive prisons and brothels. Sexual energy is inherent but not evil, but the repression of okay, true. The preachers of morality fail to understand God is in all things, including the sexual nature of men and women. That's completely not what he's talking about. It's like he's totally see the goat, the lion, the woman, the peacock. So like the peacock is obviously, you know, the peacock opens its feathers. He's talking about the pineal light.
And that's why there's two peacocks next to this pinecone statue in
right, exactly. So the goat is talking about Satan, the devil, Capricorn. The lion is the lion, and you know the lion's the most obvious one. The nakedness of woman is the work of God. So like that's basically talking about everyone and our nakedness or our
meekness.
Not meekness. I'd say our ignorance. You know, because it's like Adam and Eve realized they were naked, so they had lost that divine state, so to speak. So like the nakedness of women or woman is the work of God means like, well, you could say it's like about beauty and aesthetics. What I take from that is like, I'd say like that's just essentially working towards like divine truth. That's the great work. The nakedness of women is the work of God. That's just everyone on the great work, basically. To simplify that in its most like fundamental form, that statement, you know. But yeah, William Blake's great. We should do another show about his poems, you know.
Yeah, I'll do some research on it and get into it a little bit and see what I can derive from it and discern from it. And
oh, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. William Blake, because he was blatantly enlightened. You can tell he was enlightened from his just from how he writes his poetry, and his poetry is really, really celebrated by people. And I think because it speaks to people in an unconscious way, that people appreciate. They don't know why they appreciate it, but they do. So it's very interesting. Hey, Steve, on that note, I think I'm going to have to get going because
that's all good, brother.
I need to get some food, and I've done all my chores for the weekend, but I need to get some food.
All right, brother, we need to do this sooner.
Yeah. Let's figure it out.
All right, brother.
You gonna keep going? Or?
Yeah, I'll keep going. I'm just gonna say goodbye to everybody, and and add my 2 cents to what you just said, and
all right, cool.
Everything you said was wrong, and screw what Jack said. And no, I'm just kidding, because I loved everything you said, brother, and it's spot on. No matter if I disagree with it, it's still true because it's your path to the truth, and I know you're seeking the one truth that I'm seeking. So it matters not, and I know we're all on the same path together. So.
Yeah, all right. Thanks to everyone in the chat, and I'm out. All right, man. Take care. I'll speak to you later. Thanks again, everyone.
Later, brother.
How do I hang up? All right, bye.
Just leave me and you go down in the lower right-hand corner. All right, guys. Yeah, that was Jack, and he's got a solid point. And I wanted to read a couple comments you guys were talking about in here. When he was talking about Adam, Thoth had to bring up, Adam realized his wiener was smaller than that of a horse and was ashamed. And then Strawberry chimes in, that isn't right, Thoth. I love that. And then on a serious note, the third eye, if your eye be single, your entire body will be filled with light. And I think that's in Psalms, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? But that was, Paula had said that. But naked women are godly. Ooh, now there's an area of study. I agree with that. Anything with a bigger hot dog than Adam immediately go put on the animals to be eaten. You're crazy. I love you too, Paula. But yeah, I wanted to just say, hey, everybody, you guys are cool. And I appreciate you all for sharing the journey with me. And thank you, Allie Berry. Love you. Thank you, Code. I love you. Jackson Chat now. Mike, thank you for joining me. I haven't seen you around, but I'm glad you're here. Francisco Bandera, glad you were here. Thothanon, love you always, brother. You know that. Mary, love you too. Robert V, thanks for being here, buddy. Sorry I couldn't make it to your show all night last night. I made it a little bit from the hospital bed, but I'm glad. I found some perfectly good food in a dumpster a little bit ago. Thank you, Jesus, Black Illuminati said. Well, good for you, Black Illuminati. Thank you for joining me. Strawberry, thank you. As always, need to know. I'm glad you can make it, brother. And as far as the bag of peas comment, I'm not trying to, I take the position as Jack just explained it, articulate enough for me to understand it. And I appreciate Jack for saying it, because that's exactly how I see it. It's not that I think Jesus was a heretic or, Jesus was this or that. I just think Jesus was in the real hermetic aspect of it is the vibration, the logos, the word, that's the communication from God is Jesus, the light. And that's why there's a cross atop every church, is that light, because it looks like a cross. And I want to say thanks to Paula, thank you. And that's Rainbow, Phoenix, Supernova. Who else didn't I mention? Cayman 830, thank you. The two pillars are the temples, yes. And thank you, Manza, for joining and putting in your input. I love it. Strawberry Skies, I've already said goodbye to you and thank you. Who else did I miss? Cayman 830, I mentioned you. Need to know, mention you. Paul from Newcastle, thank you. But all of you guys, I love you and I appreciate you. And everybody's path to the truth is going to be different, personal. That doesn't mean that you can't have a group that thinks alike, that helps us each on our journey, because that in and of itself is a blessing, if you ask me. And if I be with you, you be with me, we be we. And that means that I am you, you are me. Together, one eternal, we forever shall be. So with that, much love. Treat others as you'd like to be treated. Help people out. Help an old lady off a curb. Help open a door for somebody. Smile at somebody, even if it's behind a mask. You can see it in somebody's eyes when you smile. Be aware of the absolute. Keep your feet on the ground in the relative, and just do what's right, and all will be good. Love outwardly, live inwardly, and nobody can phase us. The shit show is show for sure. Shit show extravaganza. But if we change it within us all, each on a personal level, take responsibility for what you've contributed. Correct what you know in your mind needs correcting. Whether or not you go personal face to face with somebody that you've had disagreements with, or if you just forgive the feeling that you have in yourself from that person and let that go, that's enough. Those are the corrections we all need to make. Judgment set upon others is wrong in the sense that if we judge, we should be judged by the same accord. And I think that's in essence is what we need to just take into consideration. Do unto others as you'd have done unto you, and we can't be phased. Right? Love you, Michelle. Love you, Paula. Love you, Allie, Strawberry, Penny Pocket, Black Illuminati, Paula, Thoth, came in 8:30. And need to know, I've said I'm making sure I didn't miss anybody, because I'd feel bad as if I noticed later. But thank you guys. Let me see what you guys are saying in comments now. If you see people without a smile, give them yours. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes, your love is your light and your joy is your strength. Yes, you guys all rock. In a world of sinner, there are no judges. Very good. Or you could force them to be happy with violence. Right. Thanks, Paul. That was a thought comment, of course. But thanks, Paul, for being here, brother. I judge COVID, no regrets. Right. Right. Oh, and you guys, Lucky Stone, I didn't mention you. Thanks, brother. Just because we are on different personal paths does not mean we can't walk together for a little while. Your truth have no harm in my truth. Very well put. That's perfectly put. I love that. Yes, I love that. Follow your own path is yours to follow. Yes. Right. There's always, Uja Paul. Hey, you look like my cousin, Vietnamese Jumpy Steve. Good man, good heart. Thanks. I love it. Do good. It's the best you can. Yes. Love is the power. Mary wins. Thank you. Jackie Fox 333. Nice. I'm glad you chimed in so I could say thank you and shout out your name. And, look up your name, guys. Look it up on etymology.com. Look it up on some website. We have it at the fingertips. We can find out what our name means. Find out what your name means. We'll do a show on that sometime. And everybody can chime in with what their word means, their name means. It's crazy when you look at it. Much love, people. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Love, peace, chicken grease. Later.